name is Kayla. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you watched some of my videos before. Today we are going to be doing the Nerdy Narrative tag. This was created by the guys over at the Codex Cantina for Leslie from the Nerdy Narrative's birthday. I love Leslie's channel. I think she's such a welcoming person. I took a break from YouTube for a while, as some of you may know, and I just felt anxiety about coming back into this space after not doing anything in it for so long and just being inactive, and that all the people that I had been friends with would no longer remember me, or you know what I mean, just like in general, just social anxiety. And Leslie was super welcoming, and I feel like she's the kind of person that deserves all of the praise and all of the views, and everybody should just go check her out because she's awesome. So, without further ado, question number 1 is science fiction. What is a futuristic or imaginative element in a book that you are glad is not real? Any form of zombies. In Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, there is this horrible zombie element where people who are injured after they get the, the Shayode, I believe they call it, they don't die, but they also don't heal. So like any injury that you get, you have for eternity. So like, let's say you stub your toe and you like mess up your toenail, good luck. That's now what your toe feels like forever. Just basic small injuries. And it just made me think about like how many times I get like a small cut or bruise, and then thinking about that compiling for the rest of my life. And I feel like that is one of the worst magical like instances that I can think of where I would never want to live with that. Question number 2 is horror. What has been the scariest moment for you while reading a book? Okay, so I read It this past October by Stephen King. And I guess this isn't really me watching, this is more me watching the movie, but I watched the movie because of the book, and the book scared the bejesus out of me. It's like the scariest book I've ever read to date. And so I was watching the movie with my friends because we all read it together, and we decided to watch the newer movies together, but they are in Alaska time, which is 4 hours behind East Coast time, and we all have kids. So basically I was up at like midnight watching this movie with them at my in-laws house. So I'm on the computer, I have my headphones on, whatever. My daughter wakes up, but I don't hear her because headphones. I turn around, there she is. The room is totally dark. Oh my gosh, I screamed. I almost punched the poor girl. It was horrible. I felt so bad, but it scared the shit out of me. Question number 3 is fantasy. What would you import from a fantasy world into our own world? Magic. I know everybody has said magic. But I mean, come on. If you read fantasy, magic is literally the best part of fantasy. Who wouldn't want magic? And if I was going to pick one from Mistborn, I love their multiple magic systems, and that obviously Sanderson has some of the best magic systems in general. But I would, as cool as Allomancy is, I would want to be a Farukamist, because I like that they are able to store knowledge and then access it. I feel like that would be such an awesome thing, like languages and like all the things that you could have at your fingertips, as well as with like Sazed being a, what is he called, a keeper, having all the knowledge from all the people previously compiled plus his own knowledge. I just feel like that's so awesome. And then also being able to store like strength and sight and health, and I feel like there's just so many cool things about Furukami, and if I were going to choose one of the magic systems from Mistborn to have, that's the one I would pick. Question number 4 is comic and manga. What is a comic or manga that you have enjoyed or one you've wanted to check out? Can you watch Leslie's channel and not answer this with One Piece? I mean, I've not read it, and I've really never had that much interest in manga, but One Piece, I'm gonna have to read. I have to. She loves it so much. Like, I can't imagine going to pick up a manga and not starting right there. So that's going to be my answer for that. Literary fiction and classics. What is a classic book that you've been meaning to get into but haven't yet? I would like to read Les Miserables. I loved the movie. I watched the movie last year at one point with Hugh Jackman, and I just loved it. I loved the characterizations. I loved the music. I just feel like there's so many elements to that would be something I would love. The stakes, the revolution. There's not many movies that I watch that I'm genuinely obsessed with, and that was one of the only ones last year that really stands out to me that I can even remember watching. Number 6 is The Busy Bee. What book would you like to share with all your friends? I wish everyone would just read The Name of the Wind. I'm gonna be honest. I realize that not everyone is going to like it, but I feel like most people that pick it up can at the very least appreciate the prose and the world and some of the parts of the book at the very least. You might not like both, but the general direction that the story goes, the magic system, just there's so many great things about that book that I feel like even if you don't love it, that you're most likely going to at least like it. It's hard for me to imagine people hating that book. I'm gonna be honest, because on reread, I couldn't believe how good it was. I had read it so many times previously, before I'd read as many books as I have now, and once I read it again, I just was like, okay, well, this is solidified in my mind as just a masterpiece of fantasy. So definitely Name of the Wind. Everyone I've ever recommended that book to has loved it. Number 7 is influencer. If you could have influenced an author to make a different decision in a book, what would it have been? Oh man, there's a few. The final book in the Folk of the Air trilogy, I don't even talk about this series anymore. The Cruel Prince, The Wicked King by Holly Black. These are young adult fantasy series about the Fae. And I loved these books originally, the first 2, but then I read Queen of Nothing, and the year that it came out, it was one of my most anticipated reads. I was so excited to read it, and I just hated it. I thought it was terrible. I couldn't believe that I'd waited so long for this book, and then it was as trash as it was. I just couldn't stand it, and so if I could do it over again, I would go back in time, write to Holly Black and ask her to please, please, please take more time writing this book, and don't push up the release date by 6 months or whatever it was. I also would maybe reevaluate the decisions in the final book in the Illuminate Files, because I wasn't a big fan of that one either, and I really loved the first 2 in that one as well. So those ones. Also, one more that J. Kristoff has done me, and I'm not even gonna say, but the love interests in Nevernight. Let's just say I was a big fan of the one in the first book, and then I was real mad about how he was treated. So yeah, that's that on that one. And then birthday wish. What book do you want for your birthday? Well, if I'm being crazy, I would say the leather-bound Cosmere. Essentially all of them. Just give me all of them. Any sort of special editions I usually ask for my birthday of books that I already love. I love special editions, and I love the beauty of a like 10th anniversary or, you know, whatever, a Lumicrate edition, or I just love special edition books. So generally for my birthday, that is the type of books that I'm going to ask for. All right, and number 9, the invite. Who are you inviting? All of you. Anyone who loves Lezlie and hasn't done this tag, you're invited. I wasn't invited, and I invited myself, and now I'm inviting you. I'm essentially a wedding crasher. So, all right, well, that's it. That's the Nerdy Narrative tag. Thank you, Lezlie, for being wonderful. Happy birthday. I know this is late, but it still counts. So like, comment, and subscribe if you guys would be so kind. Hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more from me, and stay tuned.